Get to it when I can. And I've talked about Doug Casey in the past. And keep in mind, I'm compiling, I have hundreds of files on people I've not talked about. It takes a long time to compile enough material on these individuals. Hundreds of files on individuals. One of the individuals I have not talked about, who's related in a business sense to Doug Casey, is named Jeff Berwick. He has this website called Dollar Vigilante. And of course, Jeff Berwick is just like Doug Casey in that, and people keep in mind, I want you to write this down so that you will not forget it. Websites, publications that are interviewing these people, that are pumping these people, that are highlighting these people, it's all the same. Gravy Train, the Gold Bug Network. You need to ban these sites. They're out to screw you. They are pumping con men. They're pumping people who want to screw you. Zero Hedge, same bullshit. They feature the same con men. It's the circle of con men. You understand? I know this because I've been watching this for a number of years. The same individuals keep appearing. Why is that? Right? It's a network. It's the flooding approach. Okay? The same guys. Now, you do have some portions of disagreement in some things. For instance, this whole gold pumping movement, you're going to have some guys that are gold pumpers but are also going to embrace Bitcoin, right? So there are some overlaps there. But the overall theme is anti-government, anti-Federal Reserve, anti-stock market, right? Remember, you're better off with the establishment. I don't like the Fed. There's no one that's been more critical and vocal about the criminal Jewish mafia-run Federal Reserve and financial industry than me. There's no one that's been more critical. Okay? Because I actually come out and name who's behind it all. But the fact is that they run the show. Okay? You can't defeat them. You got to play the game. All right? And if you think you can defeat them by putting your assets into gold and silver and buying real estate in Uruguay, you're in for a rude awakening. You're going to lose your ass. So I wanted to address the aspect of Doug Casey that I have not addressed before. Doug Casey, of course, is a copy editor. For those of you who don't know what copy editing is, it's basically a scam industry that gives you fluff words and is a psychological play. It doesn't really give you any valuable content. It's a bunch of crap. It's a huge industry. It's kind of a boiler room. But these people that are employed in this industry are craftful in word games. And they are able to write pieces that appear to have content, but the real content is not there. It's missing. It's very superficial. It's garbage. Anyway, Doug Casey runs a copy editing firm. He calls it a research firm, but it's really a copy editing and investment promotional firm, stock promoting firm, similar to many other individuals in that network. So what Doug Casey does, he sells advertisements, and he also pumps guys like Peter Schiff. He interviews these guys, makes it look like, oh, wow, they're being interviewed. Okay, well, what do they have to say? To make it, they're basically creating shit media, trash media, and they're pumping it all over the place, making it look like people want to hear what these guys have to say, making it look like they're relevant. You see, that's what they're doing. But in addition to that, because I didn't really delve into Doug Casey, but what I found out is Doug Casey, he lives in Uruguay, right? He lives in Uruguay, and he's been promoting all these real estate investments in South America. As a matter of fact, Doug Casey was pumping Argentina, the country that's in the toilet getting flushed. He was putting people into Argentinian real estate. He's got a development he's partnering with. And I'm going to go into that in the future, in a place called Salta, in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere. He has these nice pictures. He doesn't tell you the full story. Folks, there's three things that we are certain of in this world. Okay? Now, you all know it's death and taxes. What's the third thing? The third thing is that there is inevitably always going to be a crisis in South America. South America will always have a cycle, a perpetual cycle of hyperinflation. If it's not Argentina now, it will be some other country, right? It was Brazil and Argentina a decade ago, right? You understand? And these are people telling you, Doug Casey, Jeff Berwick, and all these. And Jeff Berwick is also in the real estate sales. He wants to sell you real estate, $50,000 for the cheapest acre that he will sell you, up to, I believe, over $100,000. He wants to sell you for an acre of land in Chile. Are you crazy? What? So these are guys that are trying to tell you that America is going to collapse and Canada is going to collapse and move to South America. Yeah. Wake up, people. South America has historically been a place of very, very severe economic, political turmoil, and it will continue to be a place that experiences economic and political turmoil. Okay? So, anyway, I'm going to go into more detail about these losers in the future, but I want you to consider this as a closing thought. Why do you think that Doug Casey and Jeff Berwick are living outside of America? Well, when they pump to you, I don't know if Berwick's involved in penny stock gold miners and silver miners, but I know Doug Casey is, and these guys are getting paid to promote these things, and they're living outside of the U.S., so they're not subject to the types of disclosures and regulatory oversight that someone living in North America would be. So when you get scammed, when you realize that you bought an acre of land from Jeff Berwick for 70 grand in Chile, that's in the middle of nowhere, okay? And keep in mind, 70 grand will buy you some pretty nice real estate in a lot of really nice areas in America, okay? This is Chile, okay? When you realize that you got scammed, you can't go after these guys. They live in Uruguay. They live in Chile. You can't go after them. You understand? They don't have to give you the same types of disclosures. You see? That's why they're living overseas. So I'll get into this in more detail in the future. But for now, I just wanted to give you a heads up on these, I guess, 3 or 4 issues that I've been wanting to talk about. And I wanted to just go ahead and put something out now, unrehearsed, unscripted, so I could get something out before I forgot and before other things hit my plate.